In the far side of the galaxy there was an invisible border. This border was not made of walls or weapons, but it was stronger than both. On one side were many alien civilizations, some peaceful, some cruel, some ancient. On the other side was something no alien dared to approach anymore: human space. For the past 100 years, no one crossed into it. There were stories, dark, frightening stories. Stories about what happened when someone tried. The Zarn Empire once sent a fleet of 200 warships into human territory. Not one ship came back. There was no explosion, no wreckage. Just silence. Only one message was left behind, sent from deep space on all frequencies. You have entered human space. This is your only warning. Since that day, the galaxy kept its distance. The border became known as the Line. Every map marked it clearly in red. Even pirates and criminals refused to go near it. Mothers told their children bedtime stories that ended with, "And that's why you never cross the line." But not everyone believed those stories. The Trion Empire, strong and proud, laughed at the fear. Their leader, High Commander Varix, called it foolish. Humans are weak, he told his generals. They are small in number, emotional, and slow. How can they scare the great Trillion? His advisors warned him, the last 5 scout ships we sent did not return. Varix didn't care. He probably crashed or ran out of fuel. It proves nothing. To prove the galaxy wrong, Varix gave a bold command. Send the fleet. We'll cross the line. 10 massive warships, hundreds of fighter drones, a giant battleship with planet-destroying power, over 10,000 Trifled soldiers, all prepared for war. They crossed into human space without asking. For 5 minutes there was silence. The stars didn't change. The space looked the same. Varix laughed. See, nothing happens. These humans are just a myth. Then something appeared. A small ship. It was gray and old-looking, had no weapons showing, just a name written on its side, HSS Whisper. Varix squinted. Is this a joke? He ordered his weapons to fire. But before the order was finished, the HSS Whisper moved. No light, no sound, just one small motion. Then a voice came through every ship's speaker, a deep, calm voice. Leave. The Trillion crew laughed. Then they screamed. All systems went dark. Weapons shut down. Engines stopped. Communication cut off. All screens showed just one thing, a single symbol: Earth. Then the same voice spoke again. You have entered Earth's territory. You are not welcome. This was your only warning. Suddenly all ships turned back on. Everything worked again. But the Trifled soldiers were no longer brave. Every map, every file, every star chart inside there. Computers had changed now. All of them had only one destination saved. Earth. It was like someone had erased everything else. Varix stared in horror. He gave the order. Turn around. We leave now. No one argued. The mighty Trillion fleet returned home, silent, broken, afraid. When they arrived, the galaxy asked, what happened? But Varix didn't speak. He locked himself in his chamber for 3 days. When he came out, he gave one order. No one crosses the line again. And across the galaxy, even the bravest empires agreed. The myth was true, and now the galaxy understood why no one dared to enter human space. The Trillion fleet returned home in silence.
Oh.
No songs of victory, no celebration, only fear. Soldiers who once laughed now stared at walls. Officers who once shouted now whispered. High Commander Varix didn't speak for 3 days. When he finally came out of his chamber, his face looked older. His voice had no pride. He gave one order. We do. Not go near human space again. But it was already too late. The story spread like fire through the stars. Aliens everywhere started asking questions. What happened to the Trillion fleet? Is it true one small human ship stopped them? Did humans really rewrite all? Their maps? Even the powerful empires became nervous. The Drax, a war-loving species, held emergency meetings. The peaceful Corlins started building new defense satellites. The Exari traders, who had outposts near human borders, shut them down and fled overnight. In the Galactic Council, the leaders of many species gathered to talk. Most of them looked worried. Some were angry. "This is not fair," said Lord Gam from the Zern Collective. "One species should not control such fear." A soft-spoken being named Grull, who looked like a floating jellyfish, replied, "But they don't control fear. They create it just by existing." "They're too dangerous," shouted another. "We must study them, learn their secrets." A few others nodded. They didn't believe in ghosts or myths. They wanted proof. One council member, a four-armed insect-like being, leaned forward and said, "We need answers. We should send spies. Quiet ones." Back in human space, Earth stayed calm. There were no big reactions. No loud messages. No threats, just silence. But inside hidden stations, deep in space, and on moons, humans watched. They listened. They tracked every signal, every ship movement near the border in one command center. An old man named Director Halvers sat in a dark room watching a large screen. "Trifled fleet has retreated," said the voice of the AI. Halvers nodded. "Let them run. Fear is a weapon. And right now it's doing our job." He pressed a button. A hidden satellite turned toward a group of unknown ships near the border. The AI spoke again, multiple unknown signals. Non-aggressive, possibly scouts or spies. Halver smiled slightly. "Let them peek. Let them wonder. Never let them cross." Humans had learned something long ago. The strongest shield is mystery. Somewhere else. Far from Earth, a young alien scientist named Raul sat in his lab. He belonged to the Muthery species thinkers, builders, explorers. He didn't believe in ghost stories, he believed in facts. He opened his screen and started searching for human data, but something strange happened. Every time he tried to find an image of a human ship, the screen showed static. Every time he searched for Earth's location, the map glitched, it was like someone or something was erasing the information as he looked for it. "This is not possible," Raul whispered. He called other scientists. They all said the same thing. Everything about humans is missing, scrambled, like it's being hidden in real time. Even ancient files were changing. Raul found one old textbook. It used to have a chapter on the human-Zarn War. Now that chapter was blank, and in its place was just one sentence: "You are not allowed to know." Raul dropped the book in fear. For the first time in his life, he felt something strange. Not anger. Not confusion. Respect, and across the galaxy. Many others felt the same. They didn't see humans. They didn't hear them. But they knew this. Something powerful was watching, and it did not want to be disturbed. So little by little, borders moved away. Stations closed. Scouts stopped flying close, and once again the galaxy began to whisper, "Do not cross the line." Even after the Trifled fleet's failure and the growing fear across the galaxy, not everyone was convinced. Some species still believed humans were just clever liars with strong technology. Some thought the line was a trick. One of them was the Varnock Syndicate. The Varnock were not part of the Galactic Council. They were mercenaries, bounty hunters, and scavengers. They lived in dark ships and followed only one rule: profit first. Their leader, Commander Gore, was a massive creature with 4 arms and black armor. He didn't fear anyone. When he heard the council was afraid of humans, he laughed. "Fear is for the weak," he growled. "They say humans erased maps, stopped warships, and burned memories. Lies. I'll bring back proof." The Varnock were paid well by unknown council members who wanted answers. Maybe they also wanted war. So, Gore launched his mission: infiltrate human space and capture one human alive. But the Varnock were smarter than the Trillin. They didn't cross the line directly. They used stolen cloaking tech. They bent space around the border and entered human space without touching the edge. They thought it was a perfect plan. 5 stealth ships entered. Silent, invisible, fast inside. Varnock hunters grinned. No alarms, no attacks, nothing at all. "See," said Gore. "The humans are blind. It's ghost stories, nothing more." But something was watching. something humans had placed long ago, the moment the first Varnak ship entered. It was marked not with weapons, but with fire, with a signal invisible, unstoppable. The signal activated something deep in the stars. A human AI woke up. It had no name, it's only a task. Protect Earth. The Varnak didn't see anything. The space around them looked normal, until the stars began to blink out. One by one, like someone was turning off lights. Then the silence changed. Inside every Varnak ship, a voice began to whisper. Not through the radio, inside their minds. You do not belong here. One Varnak screamed and pulled off his helmet. His eyes were bleeding. Another looked at the screen. It now showed only one thinga, rotating blue and white. Planet Earth. Then the voice grew louder. You came without honor. You hide. You lie. You will not leave. Gore shouted, fire all weapons. Ow. But their guns didn't work. Their engines froze. The ships began to shake. Something's inside the system, an officer cried. It's not hacking. It is the system. The ships were being taken apart from the inside. One by one they folded inwards, not exploded, but disappeared. Like pages being ripped from a book. No remains, no sound. Just gone. In the Galactic Council, panic returned. The Varnak were fearless. Out. But now they were gone too. This time, there wasn't even a warning, only silence. Then a message appeared on every council. Members' private screen, it was short. Only 5 words. Second mistake. Last chance. Leave. No one knew how the message was sent. No one could trace it. Even the best minds couldn't explain how. Human AI had reached that deep into alien systems. The council fell into chaos. Some shouted for war, others cried for peace. Few just sat there, shaking back on Earth. Director Halvers stood before a glowing map. The line was still there, bright, untouched. A young officer beside him asked, should we send a response? Halvers shook his head. They will learn. One by one. Are all at once. Sir? The officer asked. What if someone crosses again? Halvers didn't smile. He just said, then they'll disappear too. And in the darkness of space, the line remained clear, deadly, and still. No one dared to speak its true name out loud. The border of no return. After the Varnak syndicate vanished without a trace, the galaxy changed. Stations near the line shut down. Trade routes moved far away. No one wanted to be close, not even by accident. The Galactic Council held an emergency meeting. Every member attended, even those who hadn't shown up in years. The chamber was tense. Many leaders were angry. Some were afraid. Others stayed silent. Ambassador Rek of the Zorn spoke first. We must talk to them. We cannot live next to a power we do not understand. Another shouted, talk. They don't talk. They erase fleets like dust. An old wise being named Elder Vash from the planet Selene raised his hand. I once saw a human, he said softly. Many years ago, before the line, he smiled at me, offered peace. But behind that smile, I saw something ancient, something cold. Everyone listened. There is no hatred in them, Vash said. Only control, discipline, and silence. The room went quiet. Silence, that was the most terrifying part. Humans didn't brag, they didn't threaten, they didn't even explain. They simply acted, and the galaxy obeyed. Far from the council, on a distant moon called Rither 4, a small research team was working. They were not soldiers, not spies, just curious scientists from different species. They had one goal, observe the line from a safe distance. They didn't plan to cross it, just watch the leader, Dr. Nylan, set up a long-range telescope. Keep all scans passive, she said. We observe. It's nothing more. Her assistant, a young creature named Tello, nodded nervously. They pointed their instruments at human space. At first they saw only stars. Empty, quiet space. Then something blinked. Just once Tello frowned. Did you see that? Ilan adjusted the scope. There it was, again a small flash like a ripple in the void. Not a ship, not a weapon, just a presence. The machines began acting strange. Screens flickered. Temperature dropped. One by one, words appeared on the main screen. "We see you." Tello's skin turned pale. "Should we shut it down?" But Nylon shook her head. "No. They didn't erase us. Not yet. This is a test." She typed a simple message into the system. "We mean no harm. Just watching." There was no reply, but the flickering stopped. Instruments turned to normal. The screen cleared, and the words changed. "Then continue watching and understand why." Back on Earth, Director Halvers watched the same Moonrither, 4 from A. Hidden command center deep under the Atlantic Ocean. He nodded slowly. They passed. A younger officer looked surprised. "You let them watch?" "Yes," Halvers replied. "Sometimes it is better they fear us for what they see, not what they imagine. Won't they learn our secrets?" Halvers turned toward him. "Let them try. We have layers within layers. What they see is only the surface, and the surface is enough to make empires kneel." The officer didn't argue. He just looked at the map and the line, still glowing, still untouched. In the days that followed, the team on Rutherford published their findings. They didn't lie. They told the truth. They said humans didn't attack them. They said humans allowed them to look. They said it felt like standing near a giant sleeping beast calm on the outside, but ready to destroy if poked. The galaxy read the report, and the fear returned stronger, because now everyone understood. Humans were not just dangerous. They were in control. Even their silence had power. Even their permission felt like a warning, and the message was clear. You are safe, only because they choose not to move. It had been many years since anyone dared to enter human space. The Trilon were broken. The Varnak were gone. And even the bravest races now gave the line a wide circle. But not everyone in the galaxy believed the old stories. Some younger species, who were born after the Trilon incident, thought the tales were just legends. One of them was a small but bold race called the Gerians. They were clever, fast, and proud. They'd never fought a war, but their machines were advanced. Their leaders believed knowledge was power, and they wanted to understand what made the humans so feared. So, they sent a ship, not a warship. Not a fleet, just one small Explorer-class ship called the Light Drifter. It carried no weapons. It's only scanners, recorders, a curious crew of 6. They didn't plan to attack or spy. They just wanted to map the edges of human space, and maybe if allowed to enter peacefully, they crossed the line. Nothing happened at first. No explosions. No warnings. The crew looked around and smiled. "Maybe the stories are wrong," said Captain Enla, a young Gerian with green skin and bright eyes. The ship moved deeper. They found nothing. No planets, no signals, no stations. Just empty, perfect silence. Enla frowned. There must be something here. Then they found it. A small object, floating in space. It was round, silver, and clean. No markings, no signals, just waiting. They brought it into the ship. Bad decision. The moment the object touched their ship's floor, the air grew heavy, the lights dimmed, and a voice low and slow spoke through the ship's speakers. "You are not welcome," Enla jumped. "We didn't mean harm," the voice continued. "You come for truth. You will see it." Suddenly, the silver object opened. A cloud of glowing dust rose from it. It didn't attack. It didn't burn. It simply floated through the ship and showed them images, one by one. Scenes from Earth's dark past. Battles, war, fire, then scenes of human evolution from small tribes to vast cities, space colonies, and hidden weapons beyond imagination. Then they saw something that made them freeze. Project Blackstar, a human ship so large, blocked sunlight from an entire moon, armed with weapons that bent time, cracked planets, and erased signals from memory. The Light Drifter crew sat in silence. The images were not shown in anger. They were shown as proofed as a warning. The last image was of Earth itself, quiet, blue, beautiful and dangerous. The voice returned, "You crossed. You saw. You may leave, but you may not return." Then, just like that, the object sealed itself and floated out of the ship on its own back into space. "The ship's systems returned to normal, Captain. Allah gave the order without delay. Turn around. Set course away from human space." Now, back on their homeworld, the Gerians shared the data with their leaders. But something strange happened. The moment they tried to copy the images, they vanished. The files turned into static. The crew remembered everything, but no record remained. Only one thing stayed: a message, written in small human letters across their navigation screen. "You are still alive. Be thankful." The Galactic Council. The Gerians gave their report. Some members gasped. Others sat in silence. Finally, Elder Vosh spoke again. "So now you understand." Captain Enla nodded slowly. "They are not monsters," she said. "Our watchers, guardians, sleepers. But what if they wake?" Ask someone. No one answered, because they all knew the truth. Now, the line wasn't just a border. It was a grave warning written in silence and dust, and no one would dare cross it again. Across the galaxy, the fear of humans had grown like a storm. Even those who had never seen a human now whispered stories about them, how they erased fleets, how they controlled silence, how they watched without being seen. But one day, something unexpected happened. A human spoke. For the first time in many years, a voice came from within human space. It was a message, broadcasted once, across every major comm line. The voice was clear, calm, and serious. "This is Commander Riven of Earth's Outer Defense. We know you watch us. We see your probes. We hear your signals. You want to know why we are silent? Why we protect the line? The answer is simple. We are not the danger. We're the shield. There is something behind us. And if the line is broken, it will wake up." The galaxy froze. Every species, every ship, every leader. They played the message again and again. Some refused to believe it. Others believed it too much. "What is he talking about?" asked the Corlan, High Queen. "What is behind the line?" No one knew. That made it worse. On a cold planet called Exaranine, a small alien monk named Tevin had spent his life studying old space texts, forgotten relics, and broken signals. When he heard the human broadcast, his eyes widened. He searched through dusty archives. He found an old signal, thousands of years old. It was human, a warning. It's buried deep in forgotten space. The message had 3 words. It followed us. Tevin trembled. "Maybe humans didn't build the line to keep you out," he whispered. "Maybe they built it to keep something else in." Back in human space, Commander Riven stood inside a hidden space station. A dark AI named Sentinel hovered near him. Riven looked out the window at the stars. They heard the message. "Yes," Sentinel replied. "They are afraid," Good Riven said. "They should be." He turned and pressed a button. A giant screen showed deep space and empty zone far beyond. Earth. There was something there. It looked like a crack in space itself, pulsing, breathing, watching. "We sealed it." "What?" Riven said quietly. "But seals weaken, and curiosity is poison." Sentinels. Voice echoed, "If someone else crosses the line without knowing, it could break." "Then we must make them fear crossing," Riven replied, "even if they don't understand why." On the Galactic Council, chaos returned. Some wanted to ask the humans more questions. Others wanted to send a joint team to investigate. But many leaders, like Elder Vosh, stood up and said, "Let the line stay. Let the silence speak. Let humans guard the dark." And most agreed. Because now it wasn't just about fear of human weapons. Now it was fear of something worse. Something humans were hiding. And if even the humans were afraid of it, then it must be truly terrible. In a small corner of the galaxy, young alien children played a game. They drew a glowing line on the ground. One child asked, "What happens if you cross it?" Another answered, "You disappear." third said. No, something wakes up. The first child paused, then stepped away from the line. I don't want to play this game anymore, he said. And just like that, even the children knew some lines should never be crossed. The galaxy was quiet too. Quiet. After the human broadcast, no ship moved near the line, no probe was sent, no signal crossed. Even the bravest races held their breath. But silence cannot last forever. One day, a small unknown ship appeared. No name, no flag. It came from outside the galaxy and old. Dead zone filled with black stars and lost systems. No one knew who sent. The ship moved toward the line. It did not stop in Earth's hidden command center. Alarms lit up. Director Halvers, now older, stood before the glowing map. The line pulsed red. A young officer turned, nervous. Sir, it's not Council, it's not any known species. Halvers narrowed his eyes. It's testing us, testing the line. Should we warn them? No, Halvers said coldly. The line is the warning. The strange ship crossed into human space. No weapons fired, no AI activated. For a moment, nothing happened. Then everything changed. The stars twisted, the space bent. A massive shadow appeared behind the ship, larger than any fleet. Darker than a moonless night, it had no shape. It had no name. It was the thing that humans had sealed, the thing they never explained. It had waited for centuries, for a door to open, and now it had one. The alien ship was gone. Not. Destroyed, erased, and the shadow turned toward the stars, toward the galaxy, inside Earth's command room. Sentinel AI spoke fast. Containment breach detected, seal failing. Halvers didn't panic. He pressed. His hand on a scanner. Activate Protocol Omega. A massive wall of code unlocked. Across human space, thousands of hidden satellites turned. Unknown stations powered up. Old ships, forgotten by time, woke from deep sleep. From Jupiter's moon to black holes near the edge of the galaxy, everything moved, and deep under Earth's crust. Something opened. A voice spoke. Black Star.
Online.
The USS Black Star. The most powerful human warship ever built rose from its hidden dock. It was the size of a continent, no crew. Only AI. It didn't fly. It folded space around it, and it didn't launch weapons. It was the weapon. The shadow felt it. The galaxy felt. Even the Council, far away, saw the skies flash red. What is that? Someone whispered. Judgment, Elder Vash said. Human judgment. The Black Star faced the shadow. One spoke in silence. The other answered in light. The battle was not seen. It was felt in dreams, in shaking planets, in broken satellites, across the stars. And then, nothing. Only peace. The next day, human space was calm again. The line glowed stronger than ever. The shadow was gone. Wiped from time, all records of the unknown ship vanished. The crack in space sealed, and the warning returned. This time, in bolder words, this line is not a border. This line is a door. We keep it closed. Do not open it again. The Galactic Council held one last meeting. Many leaders didn't speak. Some cried. Some prayed. But all agreed. The line must stay. Forever. Not to protect humans, but to let humans protect them. Years later, in a peaceful classroom on a green planet, a young alien child asked her teacher, "Is the line real?" The teacher smiled sadly. "Yes, it is the most real thing in the galaxy." "Are the humans monsters?" "No," the teacher said. "They are guardians, and they never wanted this job." "Then why do they guard the door?" Teacher looked out the window at the stars. "Because no one else can." The end.